Let's Pour Up. My name is Colina Bruce. My guest today used to do stand-up comedy. He also is a twin, which he says is a little known fact. And you may have seen him on your TV screen a couple of times this week. Please welcome Deaunte Damper.
What's up, sis?
What's going on?
I'm so happy to be here. One, I'm proud of you.
Thank you. Likewise.
I think, girl, it's about that time we sit down.
I know. It has okay, we've known each other our whole entire lives.
Absolutely. I would say 10 on up, if not younger.
Yeah, exactly. But obviously our paths have gone in different ways.
Yeah.
You've been back in the town for a long time.
And you know what we said since I came back into town? We're going to do something.
Every time. I know. It's the calendar thing. We never put it on the calendar.
But it's going to happen. We're speaking it into existence.
Exactly. Period. Everybody's going to hold us accountable to that.
Right.
Okay. So we always start with the moment of meaning. So I'm going to read a quote, and I'm just going to ask for you to respond to it. Okay. And it says, "We all deserve to experience love fully, equally, without shame, and without compromise." How do you feel about that?
Oh, I like that.
Why?
Because I think that moving back home is when I really started to experience that. I think growing up for myself, I always kind of dealt with imposter syndrome, and love was just not that thing that I thought that would exist for me.
Why is that?
I think it's how I set myself up, like growing up.
Yeah.
Kind of the people that I would date, in a way, right? The people that I would date, you have people in family who are like disconnected, emotionally disconnected.
Yeah.
So, and in my space with dating some brothers, it'd be like, oh, well, they can't talk about it, right? So then I thought I sometimes would internalize that as that's how I deserved.
And you were compromising what you really wanted.
Girl, constantly compromising. So now, in that space, I feel all the love. Yeah. And I know that I deserve that. Period. So, girl, you picked a good quote.
Come on.
I feel like you were bouncing in on my therapy session, because I swear she was just talking about this earlier.
Okay, so you're in therapy.
Yes, absolutely.
How do you like it?
I love it.
What has changed for you?
I think what it is just, as I'm talking to her, every week I learn something new about myself. And I'm also letting go of the things that I've held on to. Yeah. My whole life.
Yeah.
And even because people may see me on TV, or because people see me in these big spaces, it's like, well, wait a minute, I still am going through. Yeah. Until God says it's over.
Right.
I'm still going to be figuring out life every day. So I think that as I'm going through therapy, I am being able to continue to show up as my full self.
Was there any hesitation with like getting that initial session going? Or
absolutely, because I thought I had it all figured out. Like, no, I got it. Yeah. I think I can take care of it. Yeah. I'll listen to a Mary J. Blige song. She'll guide me through it. Okay. Mary always guides me. Right. If you look at my life, you see what I see. You don't. Right.
Yeah.
But it's real. I really did, and I think that taking therapy is just as much of is the most important job to me. One of the most important jobs that I'm doing is like making sure that I'm taking the time within myself to figure out if these steps that I've been making, or if I need to backtrack and look at something and see some of my behavior, because I ain't perfect.
Right. Yeah.
That I can take accountability for, and also affirming, kind of going back to the message you were saying before, like of what I deserve. Yeah. So
I love that. Yeah. Cool. Okay, so I know you're a twin. Yeah. I've heard stories, because my husband and you and your brother grew up together very closely, and I heard y'all used to fight.
We used to fight a lot, but and the thing is, like, we're total we're the same, but we're opposite. Yeah. We do things the same, but we just can't do them together. Right. Couldn't do them together coming up. Yeah. And my brother and I used to just always be at ends. Yeah. Always fighting. Yeah. But I can honestly say, at like where I'm at now, my brother affirms me.
Oh yeah, for
like
sure.
me, Deaunte. Yeah. And I think that a lot of people thought we would have tried to kill each other. But when I'm doing stuff in community, he is one of those folks like, hey, but how are they showing up for you though? What are they doing for you? You can't keep on doing it this way. Right. And I need that sometimes. Yeah. And he's still we have those moments, but it's really more so out of respect. My brother's always just been in that space of, even now as we've grown older, of just really like affirming for each other, whether it's calling each other out, or maybe it might be some pop culture things that are happening on TV or in community, and we don't see eye to eye. But my brother, I couldn't be more prouder. The work that I'm doing is one thing, but I couldn't be more prouder than him. Right? Yeah. Because my brother was something, and he is still something. But I wouldn't be in these spaces if we wasn't fighting. I wouldn't have that fight in me.
And like you said, like he will fight for you.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so absolutely. So shout out Deaunte. I ain't never shouted you out.
One of these.
I never really did it. Hey, Deaunte.
Okay, so speaking of the work you're doing, there's a lot of work that you're doing. You're everywhere all the time. Mm-hmm. And we're going to talk about self-care in a little bit, but tell me more about what you're doing and why. Yeah. You've been very candid with your journey. Yeah. And so I think that definitely guides the work that you do. But tell us about what you're doing.
And I think to go forward, I guess I got to go back, right? Mm-hmm. I talked a little bit about how I internalized myself, but keep in mind, like, I would cut up, girl, I'd be in the streets. Like, and when I was finding myself, so to speak, and living in all these different spaces in 2013, I contracted HIV. And it really changed my life of like, ooh, back to your message, like, how do I show up for myself now? Yeah. I've always kind of been a people pleaser and out there trying to keep up with the Joneses and being out in the parties and everything. How do I show up for myself in this space? So I moved to Philly and then finally decided and picked up an addiction and then decided to move back home to get my life right. So within those years and my lived experience is what drove me to do the work. Yeah. And knowing I used to be this person that was always all over the place, but then it just started to turn into, yes, I'm all over the place with a mission now. Yeah, so absolutely. Currently, I am the community organizer advocating for Vocal Washington, which is Voices of Community Activists and Leaders Washington. Okay. And it's a grassroots organization that seeks to bring political power to community members that have been impacted by the social determinants of health, such as HIV. We know that 1 out of 2 Black gay men will be diagnosed with HIV. We need to create some policy change around that to defeat the stigma of that. We also know we're talking about the policies that are around community members that use substances are extremely important. So we're advocating for that. Mass incarceration, LGBTQ affirming. Yeah. And it's so interesting to be working for an organization. Yes, I do have the lived experience, but there are a lot of community folks that are impacted by this now that are also sitting at your Thanksgiving tables and you're not advocating for it. You're talking around, but we need to be able to affirm for these folks. Yeah.
And I think, first of all, I just want to say thank you so much for not only always sharing your story and being like authentically, genuinely who you are, but also using your voice and your struggle to create change. Yeah. You are like a living testimony of the work that you're doing, and you're not shy about that. I remember when you first came back, that was one of the first things we talked about. Yeah. And for myself, I'm like, dang, that is heavy. Yeah. And you share it and you're like, this is my story. And and that's where I was and this is where I'm at now. Have you been able to help other folks through that, or how it, because also like I feel like that can also be triggering for you to constantly have to share your own traumas.
In the beginning of doing the work, it was because I would take it because I did peer navigation to community members, not just community members that have health disparities, behavioral health issues, as well as substance abuse issues. So navigating those community folks is great. But when they would disappear or something, I would internalize that. So I had to do a lot of self-care through that. Yeah. But I think that being able to affirm myself in a space of a room full of people, a room full of politicians, or a room full of church folks. Yeah. Church folks. Is extremely important because because for community members to know that they can always affirm themselves. Yeah. There are community folks. I advocated while working at Pocan and working with some folks, and at least I would say at least 10 of them are now working in the field of advocating in some which of way, whether it be for housing or policy change or have lived experience through behavioral health issues. They're doing the work. So something that I'm doing is right. We have to use our voices to uplift other voices so then they can uplift theirs.
For sure. I think another thing that we've talked about is just this, I think about the stigma that people have around the idea of what someone who has had these sorts of battles looks like, or, you see, we talked about like the camera culture, right?
Yeah. Oh, girl.
You see this on the street, so you pull out your phone and then you're trying to get a viral moment and all this other stuff. But like, how are we doing the work?
Yeah.
What does that look like? How can you encourage folks that are really interested in these sorts of issues to get involved?
Well, I think one of those things, email me, Deaunte.Damper at vocalwall-wall.org.
Yeah.
But all in all, I think it is Googling these policies. Let's start with one, because you did say something that has really just bothered me. Stop recording people.
Yeah.
While they're going through psychosis. Stop recording people while they're at their low.
Yeah. Yeah.
We could say you could be next, but you never know.
You never know.
That could be, maybe someone hasn't seen their dad in 10 years.
Right.
Maybe that church family member, people have been trying to get them to come to church, and now it's all plastered around the space, right?
Yeah.
People deal with things, and I don't think that no one has a right to expose that.
Yeah.
I'll never forget a night where I was going through a drug-induced psychosis, and a friend was supposed to come pick me up, but instead he called a group of my friends to just drive around in a circle, come see how high he is.
Oh my
and
God.
I never forget that, man. And I wouldn't say your name, but God bless you.
It's a safe space.
But God bless you. But
but
I always know, like, we should never do that. We have had. Think of your lowest moment.
Yeah.
The fact of a camera being there, and that being the time cap, the thing that people remember you as, it's just disrespectful.
It's very disrespectful, and I think that for us of a certain age, we didn't have social media. We didn't have, the internet was brand new. So
shout out to MySpace,
right? And Tom,
right.
So those sorts of our lows were not as accessible.
Yeah.
They weren't for public consumption.
Absolutely.
And today, it's just really, and I can remember being a young person and seeing, not that young, like maybe college, and seeing something, and you just pull out your phone out of habit. And now, I've had friends, family, people that I love, going through different things, and I couldn't imagine someone just pulling out their phone. And so it took me to get to a certain age, and also to experience certain things, which sucks, because you shouldn't have to go through it yourself to have empathy about something,
Absolutely.
Right? But it just really makes me,
it's heartbreaking. And a lot of the work, so with Vocal, I'm working with public health, as a program manager for CEDU, which is Council for Expert Advisors on Drug Use. So a lot of these community folks that are impacted are going to different hotels, which are put on by like organizations like CoLead, DESC, that are really doing the groundwork with helping our community impacted folks out here. And I'm going to them and saying, hey, this is what the news is saying to you about policy. This is what they're trying to create about you, or the narrative, or look at these people recording people. How does this make you feel? And we are creating, with those folks, we are creating not policy change, but they know that they can be the change. And I'm bringing city people running for office into those rooms to talk to the people who are directly impacted, and continuing to do focus groups. So if, again, to answer your circle back to that question, if there are people that that are impacted that need assistance with just navigating, because it's not just like, oh, this person needs to get clean,
right?
Or recovery is not just not doing drugs. Recovery is when you feel safe to be around your family, your friends, or restored back into your community. And being so heavily focused on them not using is the thing. I definitely got to shout out Brandon Sanchez and Mikey Weaver, who are my brothers. When I struggled, there was many times where it was supposed to be exposed, or people could have did that. The brothers came to my house 40 days straight.
Wow.
It didn't matter if I was in that space. What they wanted me to do was just be good and be honest about where I'm at. Coming back home, it was such a struggle for me mentally because I didn't know how I should show. How, like, I'm struggling. I'm doing this, and I got one foot in and one foot out. And I appreciate those two brothers because if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't be in this space either. So shout out, brothers.
Yeah. And that's so dope.
Yeah.
Everybody doesn't have that.
Right.
And that is so important to have a village or a tribe or just people who will check on you.
Yeah.
You know, because like you said, they could have shared your downs with other people. They could have, but they wanted to check on you, and that's super dope.
Right.
Yeah.
And learning that is safe, because I had other people that did, and shout out to y'all too, but I just wanted to make sure that I highlighted them.
Yeah.
Today I'm highlighting my brothers.
Yeah. Okay. Period. Yeah. That's what's up. So you have talked a lot. You've dropped a lot of gems for me. I'm going to be looking up a lot of acronyms after this show. But you've talked a lot about the work that you're doing for your community and for other people. And I'm sure it's fulfilling for yourself as well. But how are we taking care of Deaunte?
How are we taking care of ourselves? It has been a very busy summer.
Yeah.
And I think going to therapy is a big piece of that.
Okay.
I watch my shows. I make sure my Sunday at 6
okay,
instead of 8 is clear.
The House of Dragons. Okay.
But I watch it. But one of my friends come over. We watch that.
Yeah.
Just this week, I have my friends that are also organizers, and we meet on Wednesdays or Tuesdays just to relax.
Yeah.
Just to chill. And I think that that's what I'm doing right now.
Yeah.
December, from here on out, I'm always going to take the whole month off. Not do nothing.
Period.
I'm sorry. I'm not. I mean,
yeah.
I'll do the turkey giveaways, but I ain't doing no. Shout out to Black Santa, but I ain't. I just need to be able to do that, because I did do that early last year, first time, and I was scared to do it because I'm like, oh, I miss it. People need me and all that, but I did it. But it just, like, the powers that be, somebody up there had my body prepared, because there was so much stuff that happened. I don't think I would have made. I think I would have just quit doing a project or quit on myself during that space.
You needed to recharge.
I needed to recharge.
And one thing you said earlier when we were talking about is that kind of setting boundaries, when you are out doing your thing and people want to talk to you about work or whatever, you're like, no, and not right now.
But it varies, right?
It varies. There's a time and a place.
There's a time and a place, and I'm still working on that. I want to be honest about that, right?
Yeah.
Because it's like, if someone is contacting you and they are in a space where they need help, I will do the best that I can.
Yeah. And you got to meet people where they are.
Right.
Like y'all may be in an environment where it feels safe for them to have that conversation with you, and it may not present itself again. But yes, there's
and there's a pro and a con to that. You don't leave anybody hanging. It's fine.
Yeah.
But keep in mind, the thing that I'm working on, and community help me accountable, is that expectation. Because we see him doing all these things.
Right.
I see you doing all these things. She got candles. She can't make me no candle right now. It's my husband's birthday. We went to church with her. It's hard to figure out that. So I'm praying for that balance.
I think it's the balance, and I think it's also transparency, and just like you said, being clear about expectations. Like, hey, I really want to connect with you about this. This right now is not the time.
Yeah.
Or if there's an urgency, that your emergency is not my emergency. However, let me get back to you when I'm not having a cocktail in my hand or whatever.
So we're going to do a part 2 like 6 months from now. Probably bring Tony up in here just in case.
Shout out to Tony.
Right, shout out to
our
Tony.
Black therapist. Yeah. Okay, we're going to play a game.
Okay.
And
you didn't tell me who was playing games.
It's not really a game, but this segment's called Game Time. Okay, so I'm going to give you a few cards, and you can pick 2 or 3 to read out loud and answer. You can look at it if you want to pick which one you want to do.
No, I got this one.
Okay.
What makes a house a home?
Okay.
A chair is not a chair. What makes a house a home? I would say, what makes a house a home? Well, first, paying your rent. Shout out to my lease agent. I'm going to be paying you in about 30 minutes. Sorry.
It is not the first.
I think what makes a house, exactly. what makes a house a home, I would just say the love that you have in it.
Yeah.
I honestly always had a habit of having the wrong things in my house. Shout out to those things. But now, like my house is my sanctuary.
Yeah.
I love just being in my space and being around people who love me and I love them.
Yeah.
And it's not so much of me, besides some of the community meetings I might have, but it's not so much of the work. It's just love. Mm-hmm. And it's also me just lounging on my couch.
Right.
Shout out to my couch.
Period.
Like, no. What about you?
You know what's so funny is there's 1,000 cards in this box, and every episode we pull the same few cards because I had this card with Apple.
Mm-hmm. Shout out to Apple.
Shout out to A for Apple. There's a few other things you said. I just think that the memories, the ambiance, I always say candles. I like candles in my home. But one thing for me is like my home is a gathering space. You know, I really love being around people. I love being around family. I find any opportunity to celebrate and have a kickback and just, you know, whatever. And so those things fill up my space. You know, when the people are gone, I still can look outside and see, like, you know, we was kicking it last weekend, right there. You know, those things make the structure a home for me.
I like that.
Yeah. Period.
Second one.
Yeah.
Are you mentally or physically tougher?
Oh.
You go ahead.
Well, I don't go to the gym. I don't work out.
Shout out, because the body's still giving. It's good.
It's silly. I would say mentally. I mean, I think that you really don't know how mentally tough you are until you go through these extreme things.
What's the toughest thing you've been through?
Oh, God. You know, my mom just passed, and that was very, very tough for me because it was a unexpected situation where I saw her one day and she was gone the next morning, you know. So I think that I had experienced loss before, but not anything to that magnitude. And I really I had never imagined a life without my mom, you know? And so I think that every single day is hard. I mean, the things that used to be easy for me to just like get up and be motivated is hard now, you know? But kind of going back to what you said, a lot of times people don't see that. They see, you know,
I want my candles.
And I'm very much, you know, Instagram is my highlight reels. You know, I used to post on Instagram like every week. And now it's probably like once or twice a month, and it's a bunch of pictures of what happened the past 2 months, you know. And so I find myself being a lot more present with like what's happening. You know, I would be the person, like I said, I was the phone person. I'm taking videos, I'm taking pictures. Now it's like I am present and I'm here and I'm taking this in. So mentally, things have changed for me a lot, which have been fitness for my brain. But I still feel like I have my days, you know. Obviously, some days are much better than others, but
honey, you got it. I will say
that.
Thanks.
Okay, next up here.
Right. And for myself, mentally, I am. Trust me, I am better. I feel better. I think that, you know, doing the work as well as taking the time out to be honest about like where I'm at in spaces. I used to lie to myself about it, and then you know, and I feel a lot better with how I show up. So yes, physically, I mean, it's giving 39 and fine.
30 fine.
30 fine. And I love my friends, you know, and I would do anything for my friends. And that means anything. But don't call me for no hike. I ain't hiking. I'm just not doing it. Friendship hike,
you
honey.
don't like nature?
No, I mean, I like
like
nature.
Okay.
Like, I got a park right across the street. I go down there.
Okay, what is the extent of what you won't do? Like, okay, no hikes.
I'm not hiking.
That's it?
We're not going.
Water sports,
I can
kayak or paddleboard.
I've watched it on TV. It looks so much fun.
We have a whole lake at Seward Park.
I'll go on the boat with somebody.
Okay, you'll
Shout
go
out to
on
my
the
friends
boat.
that get on the boat.
Are you on the boat with a life jacket
yes,
on? Okay,
absolutely.
Yeah, that's that.
Can't swim. Shout out to my people. One day we'll get there. It won't be today. But
you know they have adult swim lessons.
I know.
Okay. Okay, next card, Deaunte. This is the last one. Okay.
Do you pose any qualities in your astrological sign?
Oh my God, we just had this card. Can you pick a different? Oh, okay, go ahead. You answer it.
I'm a Taurus. I'm stubborn.
Oh, so you're stubborn, yeah.
I'm stubborn. I'm all right. You know any Tauruses?
My child.
Okay. Yeah. And we're loyal, you know?
Yeah.
We're loud.
Mm-hmm.
I'll take that. And some of the other ones I can't say on here. But I'm that.
Oh, like in the bedroom?
Oh, no, not in the bedroom.
Oh, okay.
Maybe. But no. But
do you match good with another sign?
Yes, I match good with Pisces.
Okay.
I love Pisces.
Okay.
And on my charts, you know, like they got the moon and the rising.
Yeah.
I'm a Taurus, Pisces.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're deep into the.
And I have like a group. The majority of my close girlfriends, they're Pisces.
Okay. Okay.
So, shout out
that
to
tracks.
y'all. And the others, but Pisces. What about you? What are you?
I'm an Aquarius, so tell me about myself.
Girl.
Tony's an Aquarius as well.
Right. I will say, y'all dress really nice. It's like, no. Aquarius women,
beautiful
seriously,
gowns?
I love
gowns,
beautiful gowns. No.
Okay.
I will say that there's not a hot or cold with you. You know, no, I mean, you're either hot or you're cold. There's no middle, and and if you have to play the middle, the minute that something goes wrong, it's going to be like a tick, tick, boom.
Yeah, the middle is passive.
Yeah, but you can't do that for too long. Yeah. Because once you do it, it's like, no, I'm not playing this game with you.
True.
I'm not playing this game with any of y'all. Give me my money. I'm not playing this game with any of y'all. No more friendship.
Yeah.
I'm not playing this game no more. You cannot come back to my house barbecue like you're 86.
Yeah.
You know?
That is very much true. I think that for myself, I am very, I'm noticing more things about myself as a business owner, as a boss, where I have been very passive with different things. And so somebody will be like, oh, why didn't you, call out this thing or call out this person? I'm like, oh, it's okay. And so after so many of those it's okays, I'm like, this is really bad.
She's fired. She's fired. I'm not doing it.
No, but I'm just, So I'm learning that about myself too, is like you have to set boundaries and expectations or else people will not respect you. Yeah. You can't always, I've always been like a people pleaser, for lack of a better word.
I will give Aquariuses the credit on, once someone does something where there's no coming back, your detached game is like very much acting like someone didn't exist in the room. Y'all got that. You got it. I will not call out my friend who does that so well.
Ooh,
but shout out to you, Aquarius. Y'all are good.
Oh, my gosh. Okay. We have a segment called A Win is a Win. Okay. And so you've already touched on this a little bit, but I would love for you to share either a challenge that you've gone through that you are very proud of yourself for making it through, or just a success that you just want to share so we can give you your flowers.
Oh, yeah. It's my recovery journey.
Yeah.
Most black people don't think black people do methamphetamine, right?
Meth is not a black job.
Right. But it was a big struggle to get out of that space, and I would do good for a couple of years and then bounce back, or a couple of months and this time. But it feels great. And shout out to every organization that I'm affiliated with and work with. Yeah. Because I was so afraid to quit those things. I mean, to go get the help because I would lose everything.
Yeah.
But over these past 2.5 years, shout out to my Bill brothers and the Therapy Fund Foundation, Converge, Vocal, all y'all. I'm empowered by my people. Most people get cast out. But you know, God made my waters high because my enemies can't swim. So God, you know, and I'm just so happy that I swam out of that.
Yeah.
Now can't swim,
you did
but
swim,
I swim.
But you
right.
Okay.
So, but it feels great to be able to come back home.
Yeah.
You know, you had the question, what makes a house a home? Community is home to me.
Yeah.
So it feels good to be back as my full self.
Absolutely. And we are grateful to have you back as your full self. And I want you to continue to take care of yourself.
Yes.
Watch TV, you know, do what you do.
Do my thing.
Do your thing. But the gift that we get from you, being able to just show up authentically and fully is more than you probably even can imagine for yourself. Like you probably, you know, you're doing great work, but yeah, I'm sure there are people whose lives are changing because of their interactions with you.
Oh, I love you.
Yeah.
You know, well, you know, we grew up in the same space, and I feel like the majority of the folks that we grew up with all give that. But I think
yeah, for sure. Absolutely. Okay. Well, we're coming to the end of our show. And so
we ain't playing no more games?
You want to play another game? What you want to play? We are going to, I'm going to have you do some affirmations.
Okay.
Do you do affirmations?
Absolutely.
Do you have like how do you do your affirmations?
It all depends on like what's happening. Like God will fill up my gas tank. You know, like things like that. This light bill will get paid in the name.
Is that an affirmation or is that a manifestation?
Look, whatever.
We're speaking it into existence.
Fill my cup, Lord.
Words
in
are
this
powerful.
Gas tank.
God said, ask.
Okay.
If you need it, you got to ask.
Gas tank. Same. I mean,
do you look in the mirror and say it?
I honest to God though, I do when it does get when my waters are troubled is when I start affirming to myself.
Okay.
And I can't say exactly what I say to myself.
Yeah.
But
is it an Issa Rae moment?
It is an Issa Rae moment.
Okay.
Like, you a bad?
Yeah.
You got this. Remember? You got this. You done been through this before.
Right.
You got it. So it's a little bit of that.
Okay.
Little cuss words.
So some cuss words are motivational sometimes. I want you to affirm yourself even when things are good.
Okay.
Remind yourself who you are.
Okay.
Even when things are good.
Okay. I like that. Do you want me to do it now?
I'm going to give you some prompts. You're going to do it now. I'm going to give you the prompt. You're going to repeat the prompt and finish the sentence.
Mm-hmm.
I am
beautiful.
Period. I welcome love. I deserve
respect.
Yeah. I choose
love.
I believe
that this community can continue to work together and strive to advocate for our youth. Stop the gun violence.
I trust
that everything that I'm working on, as well as myself, is working for my good. Is going to manifest and become something even bigger.
Yeah. I know
that I'm double parked downstairs. Sorry.
I know that the gas money and the ticket is coming. It's like, not the ticket. We rebuked the ticket.
No, I know that again, God is ordering my steps. I know it.
Yeah.
And let me just elaborate on that a little bit more, because one of the things that we didn't talk about is like we grew up in church.
Yeah.
And there were so many times where we even had our own people who were queer get cast out from church hurt. So I know that what God has for me is for me. And I want to make sure that we're encouraging anybody that's been cast out to make sure you know that God got something for you. We're not here for no reason.
And that is a whole full episode right
That's
there.
That's a whole full episode, church hurt.
Yeah. We will need Tony for that episode.
Absolutely.
Yes. I know.
You did not know.
I feel
so great here in the studio with you today.
Likewise.
Really.
Good.
We have very many friends that aren't here. Very many friends who may have gotten cast out. Very many friends who might be sleeping on themselves. Yeah. And you have not. You are flourishing.
Thanks.
And you've always been that girl.
So
you always been that girl.
Thank you.
It was always great looking in the soprano section. People like you and Ebony and Christina and Angela Rye, who ain't admitted that she's been in a choir, but we got you. But and just seeing you, you've always been that girl.
Thank you.
So
I received that. Likewise, you've always been that girl as well.
Thank you.
I create
safe space for community.
Yeah. I love
this damn podcast. I love you.
Me too.
And I love what you are doing. I'm going to point to you.
No, you pointed to yourself.
I love my family. It's so funny because I wrote I am a twin because I've been thinking about my twin brother lately. Yeah. For people that didn't know that I had one. So I'm like, I love my brother. Shout out DeLon. Yeah. Yeah.
I am.
Oh, we're doing I am again. Okay.
Yes, we're wrapping it up.
I am living the best life right now. Yeah,
you are.
I am.
How do you feel?
I feel good.
Good.
Write those down, girls. Send those.
Hey, you better. Like we used to do. I made a Facebook post yesterday. The kids today have it so easy with the lyrics and the songs because you could just pull it up. Remember when we used to...
Remember you used to be mad when you would open up a CD case and it's just that's who produced it?
Let's go back to before CDs. Okay. You hear a song on the radio. You got to go get a blank tape.
Yeah.
Put it in, record the song, go grab a notepad, rewind it, play the song, pause, write down what you think you heard.
The one song I can remember vividly doing that with, shout out to my cousin Kilmy, we did that with the Gangsta's Paradise.
Oh my gosh. My core memory of that is with my cousin Candace, and we did it to Week, SWB.
Okay. You want to sing some of it?
Okay, so anyways, we have arrived at the end of this session.
Yes.
And I just want to say thank you again for being here. And I'm grateful for you. I'm grateful for our friendship. Yeah. I'm grateful for us putting something on the calendar in August.
Doing it. And we got something coming. It might be a candle. It might be an event, but it's coming.
Period. How can the people find you?
You can find me on IG, Deaunte Damper, Facebook, Deaunte Damper. But just email me, deaunte.damper@vocal-wa.org.
And any parting words?
I would definitely just encourage people to just show up. I mean, I think we're all there existing, but let's show up. We got babies out here. Yeah. Robbing stores at 13, 14. Gun violence is real. Mm-hmm. We have people dying of overdose in our community. There are still people that won't come out to their family members because y'all rather watch Power and advocate for those folks, but not advocate for the people in your own homes, right? All in all, show up. It is so important to authentically show up for our people. Yeah. Stop playing.
Mic drop.
Right.
Thank you for being here. I love you.
I love you too.
Thank y'all for tuning in. We'll see you next time. Bye.